So I went to Georgia to open a bank account, and I didn't really know what to expect exactly. So I've heard a lot of good things about banking in Georgia. I was interested in many reasons to visit Georgia, to open a bank account, to have a bank account outside of Europe and the European Union, as a backup or perhaps as a main bank account. So Georgia at the moment, and this is something that's set to change perhaps soon, is not part of the common reporting standard. So if you enjoy privacy, of course, we're not hiding anything and we don't suggest that you do either. But of course, you report what you legally have to, but why should someone be allowed to spy on you? So perhaps for this reason you like to have a bank account somewhere else. Or perhaps you want to have a bank account outside of the Western world because who knows what's going to happen with the governments going more and more crazy every day. So this was a goal, and I didn't know exactly what to expect, how long it would take. So I've had some experience in some other countries like Serbia or Montenegro, that they allow a non-resident. So this is someone who doesn't have an address in the country, someone who doesn't live there, to open a bank account. But the process is not guaranteed, and it can take some time. So like you have to be pre-approved, and then you have to come back, and then after some weeks you might be allowed to open it. So I thought, well, maybe it could be this way. Of course, I've been in touch with some banks before, and they told me that they take it on case-by-case basis. That's usually the answer you get when you inquire about it, especially remotely. So I arrived to Georgia, and on the first and second day I visited a couple of banks. And the first two banks that I visited, they told me that I would have to pay 50 Georgian lari, so it's like 17, 18 euros, for them to start having a conversation with me, and then it would take a few days to get the decision, and then I have to come back to open a bank account. So I thought, like, okay, this is not ideal, but it's a start. But I thought maybe I'll look around a little bit more. And then the third bank I went to, there was a Bank of Georgia. They said something similar, but it sounded like I would not have to pay anything, and that they started the process right away. They told me what the options are, what the conditions are, what the limits are. So it felt like they were ready to open on the spot. And also, even when I arrived there, the atmosphere was a bit different. So when I inquired about opening non-resident bank account, there was an assistant who pressed the button for me to get the ticket. And there was a button specifically for non-resident. So then I waited for a while, and then I was serviced by an advisor who spoke very good English. And actually, they opened, it took quite a while, maybe 40 minutes or over an hour, but they opened the bank account on the spot for me. So they asked me some documents. I had to show my passport, of course. They wanted to know about my tax residence. So I had to provide some information regarding that. I explained that in my situation, I have more than one address for different things. So this was something that they were understanding about, and they wanted the address connected to my tax residence. So that was the only one they wanted to know. They put that down. I did not have to prove that in any way. This is not a guarantee that this has to be that for everyone. I imagine that depending on your nationality, for example, the process might be different. I think that's certainly the case. I think, for example, for Russians, it's not as straightforward as it was for someone who has a European passport. But nevertheless, they opened on the spot. Something that I was very impressed and very interested in is that they gave me a debit card on the spot. So I got two, actually. So one is a kind of their own local thing, which they claimed works only in Georgia. And what I discovered is that it only works in some places in Georgia, not everywhere. But what's very interesting is that it's co-branded with American Express. And I've tested it, and of course it works outside of Georgia where American Express is accepted. They gave me a second card. This was part of the account, MasterCard. And what is very interesting, both of these cards are anonymous cards. So that's also how they were able to give them on the spot. There is no name on those cards. Of course, it's connected to your account, so if someone really wanted to find out, they probably could. But I was not sure if this would work in Europe, especially online. So I've asked for an extra card for which I'm paying something like €3 extra per year. The basic account package is 120 lari per year. So the conversion rate is roughly divided by 3 into euros. So this is quite okay. They also offer some premium packages which cost more, but from what I've seen, if you're going to spend more time in Georgia or don't have good premium banking in your country, this can be quite a good deal. For now, I stick with the basic package, so I have these 3 cards. One of them is with my name because I wasn't sure how that will work if there's no name on it. Once I've set up in the mobile and internet banking, I saw their banking system is very good. So you need to have a phone number from Georgia, a local one, to set up, which is quite easy to get, to set up the bank account. But afterwards you can set up a foreign number there as well, and you can set that the messages will go to that number. So it's very usable outside of Georgia also. And for the anonymous cards, when you go to the card details there, then for the name it says card holder. And I've tested that, and when you purchase something online, you can set card holder as the name and it works fine. So with this account, I have 2 anonymous debit cards as well. Very interesting. As for the card itself, the MasterCard, what's very interesting is that from what I can see on the card, it's classified by MasterCard as a credit card, but it works as a debit card. I'm not sure if that has some consequences in certain points of sale and websites, or it's just a mistake of the logo, but that's also something interesting. Overall, the experience was very positive. I had a feeling from the start and also afterwards that they were very happy and very keen to have me as a client. Just today, this morning, I had a call from them asking about what my experience was opening the bank account, submitting the documents. When I opened the bank account over 2 weeks ago, I had a message explaining how happy they were with me as a client. And there is a customer support chat that works 24/7. You get a response usually within a second. If you need anything, if you have questions, if you want to set up new products, cancel products, something I've tried myself. I tried to apply for new accounts, a new card, and also I tried canceling it. And generally speaking, I was either able to do that myself within seconds within the app, or they helped me with the chat, and within minutes it was done. So I've set up an interest deposit account. I'm getting 7% interest on the Georgian lari, and they offer also higher interests if you don't need flexible withdrawal and deposits. If you have a time deposit, you can get up to 11% per year. The account comes for free with as a multi-currency account. So you have their currency, Georgian lari. You also have dollars, euros, and British pounds. It's all there together. They give you bank details for each of those accounts. And if you transfer money there in that currency, then it's deposited in that currency. There's no currency conversion fees. And if you pay with your card in one of those currencies, it's deducted out automatically from that balance, and there is no currency conversion. So that's also all very nice and works very well. So overall, I would say this is something I can definitely recommend. And also something interesting, when I wanted to send some money to that account, so I've used Wise. I have a multi-currency account with Wise. And depending on the amount you're sending, it's beneficial either to send it in one of the foreign currencies you have, or in Georgian lari. And generally speaking, the transfer was very fast. Either within seconds or a couple of hours, the money was on the account. And the fees were minimal. So if you don't have a Wise account, which is something we've recommended in another video, it's something we recommend you set up. You can use our referral code to set it up if you like to. And if you want to have a bank account in Georgia, and you cannot or don't want to go there yourself, we have made contact with people that we have met personally, who we trust and who can do the process for you for some small fee. Overall, I would recommend that you go to Georgia yourself and go through the experience, but if you don't have time, or you live somewhere like Australia where the cost of going there would not be worth it, then there are people who can do it for you.